Hello, Legend of Zelda fans and waiters for Breath of the Wild 2. I had another dream. I'm telling you, I'm going psycho. Like, Nintendo needs to give us more information or a name or something. But I had another dream about Breath of the Wild 2. And a lot of you guys wanted me to make a video again on this dream over on social media. And a lot of you guys actually watched the first dream video that I did and said that, hey, you would love it if I shared more dreams. And then people were like, yo, why did it take so long to make this next dream video? I'm like, because I just had I can't force dreams, whatever. And I wanted to share what I saw in this dream because even though it was oddly specific, it showed a lot of things that could work and was weird. And I woke up and I'm like, oh man, it's not true, it's not real. And you know, I just wanted to make another video on it. Now, first and foremost, this is not a theory, this is not speculation, this is not a premonition. It's just a dream that I had that I want to share with you guys. And a lot of you guys are probably like, oh man, making dreams is what comes to when you're, you know, creating content. I'm like, that's what content creation is. And like, what, we don't have anything to go off of Breath of the Wild 2 right now. So let's just get right into the noise and get the ambience going. Now, like I said before in the previous video, I'm gonna try and help you visualize what I saw because I don't really have visual aid here, but I will have some visual aid till I talk about what I saw in the dream. So let's get right into the spiel with the noise. Now, I was in this dream, I was put in a situation in which it was weird. Like, try to understand where I'm coming from. That there was like a demo, an online demo for Breath of the Wild 2, but it was named the sequel to The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, right? And you're able to play like a certain segment of it, and then like as long as you have an internet connection, it gets updated over time. And then one day when I booted it up, a different name showed up on the screen that wasn't the sequel to The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. This was the true name, and I was like freaking out, and I went on social media and everyone was freaking out and stuff, and this was happening in real time in my dream or whatever. And the name for this game in my dream was The Legend of Zelda Second Arcane Wind, right? Like really specific, right? Like super specific. And the way that the name pertains to the game itself is that, you know, when people say, oh, getting your second wind, or, you know, like getting your comeuppance or like resurgence or whatever, second wind is like, you know, like going along with the terms of reviving or getting another chance at something. And that's Ganondorf reviving with his second wind, his second arcane wind, and then that's what, like, you know, the name is. And that's, oh, spoilers or whatnot. So that was the name, right? And then we get into the weird stuff about this, about what I saw. There's segments of this demo or this gameplay that I, you know, was playing second arcane wind, was that I started out in the beginning of the game a little bit, but I was starting off in the Death Mountain Elden region, right? And in this region, it seemed that it was a lot more along the like a lot more further down the line in terms of development, in terms of the Gorons making like steel, I would say, structures, buildings, roads that help traversal on this mountain range a lot easier. And then there's a bunch of stalls and kiosks that were able to give you the lava shield or the fire shield potion, so that people can actually show up and, like, you know, trade, commerce, all that good jazz. And it was really cool. And then as I'm traveling around here with Link, and I have, you know, the regular clothes, the arm, but I didn't really mess around with it because, I mean, like, it wasn't a lucid dream. It was like I was just along with the ride. I go and I find Daruk. And I'm like, okay, this is weird. You're supposed to be dead, right? Obviously, Breath of the Wild. And then when I talked to him, I'm like, okay, let me go talk to him. His design was a little bit different, right? His beard wasn't all over the place. It was a lot more kept, refined, like he was styling it a little bit better. And I'm like, this is Daruk, but it's not Daruk. So I talked to him. And then he like says a couple of things. And he's like, wow, can you believe it's been a whole year since the princess brought me back? And I'm like, bring you back? And then in my head, I'm like connecting the dots. I'm like, so wait, this is like a time skip, and like we found the Triforce in the time skip, and then Zelda used the Triforce to bring back the people who died in the Calamity. And I'm like, that's interesting, right? And then in the dream, it just jumps, right? Like the dream just jumps to another segment of the game in which it shows the Yiga without Koga and like a standing Koga, like the standing master or whatever, discussing like their next plan of attack when it comes to Hyrule, the Sheikah, now that Calamity Ganon's gone. And then there's like a small hooded person within the eagle as they're like, talking around like a table or whatever, I don't know. And then this person started talking, and it was like a female voice, and the voice I recognized. I'm like, wait a minute, that sounds a lot like Purah, right? And I'm like, there's so Purah, like cloaked Purah, I didn't see who it was just a small cloaked person. And Purah's voice was saying that, now that, Zelda and the hero has found the Triforce, that can lead to the awakening of someone or something that laid beneath the ground. And as, people who worship Calamity Ganon or Calamity Ganondorf, maybe this is the right time for you to seek out this entity. And the eagle's like, what's in it for us? And then she's like, as long as I have a seat on the table. And I'm like, okay. And then she brings up this like Sheikah, like it's like the Sheikah module that becomes like a TV screen, because Sheikah technology, like Breath of the Wild, so it becomes like a TV screen, like a bigger version of the Sheikah Slate, but just the screen, right? And then it shows like the Ganondorf's corpse, right? But it shows a little bit of insight to what happened to the corpse, right? And then she's like, you're gonna be looking for this artifact, or I say artifact, but it's more like a person, even though it's dead. Like he's not actually dead. This is Ganondorf, right? And Ganondorf was put into the state because he started like an uprising of blasphemy against the Church of Hylia. And then when he was sentenced to death, this was his fate. And then they just buried him, and this is where you gotta go. But this whole time he did not activate, only until Zelda and Link found the Triforce, right? And then finding the Triforce activated, like basically made him a beacon. And then they're saying, all we gotta do is pass this information along to Link and Zelda, so that it kind of like entices them to go find this artifact or treasure or whatever, right? And that it is explained as soon as Zelda gets there, Ganondorf will wake up in response to Zelda's soul, kind of like how Demise does in Skyward Sword. So that's like the whole idea to like, come on, we gotta just like push them in the right direction. And then that leads to what we see in the first trailer. And that's how Ganondorf gets revived. And then the gameplay jumps again. Now this is the weird part when I'm like, all right, what's going on with this? Where we see Link, but in the older costume that we see in the second Breath of the Wild 2 trailer, that green outfit. But for some weird reason, the graphics were like really good. Like really, really good. I'm talking like 60 frames per second, more detailed hair. And Link was there with a mirrored glistening shield and a very, very nice looking like reflective sword, right? And no bow, no nothing, and he was standing in a grassy green field of flowers with white flowers, constantly blowing in the wind with the petals. And then overarching that giant field was like these big pillars that kind of curved up like this, kind of like Guar Plains in Xenoblade, but not really. It was like, okay, so the best way for me to put it, you guys know that area where they had to pray to the tree in Avatar, the Blue People James Cameron thing, and then those structures are kind of curved up like that, but like way bigger and way farther, like huge, so you can like see them like they're above you and whatnot. And then Link is just there, ready with his shield and sword ready, like he's gonna fight someone or something. And then this portal opens up in front of him, and I forgot to let you guys know, this whole time there's a fairy like hanging out with this Link. And then when you pause the menu, it shows like Link, like quotation mark Link. So I'm guessing like, this isn't Breath of the Wild Link, this is like Link from the past, and that's like a theory that's playing around or whatever. And this fairy was like, you could see the full body of the fairy. Like, sure, you see the light pulsing around it, kind of like in Ocarina of Time, but then you're like, thanks to the graphical details, you can see the full body of the fairy. And the fairy was named like Luvila or something like that. Something with an L, something with a V, and N with a, whatever. Out of this portal was coming another person, and it was really hazy, and I couldn't make it out, but I want to assume it was Ganondorf. And the dream just ends there. And I'm like, what's going on? What is happening? And you guys really enjoyed the first dream video, and you guys kept telling me to make more dream videos, and that's the second wild dream I'm having about Breath of the Wild 2. And I'm telling you, I'm going psycho, I'm going insane. I need Nintendo to, like, more information, a name or anything like that. These dreams are getting too wild, and oh my god. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys, you know, enjoyed dreaming along with me. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section below, and be sure to like, share, and most importantly subscribe to HMK for more Breath of the Wild 2 content like this and more, I guess. So until the next video, until the next dream, this has been HMK, and I'll check you guys later.